Hello everyone, I'm going to be speaking on the wealth inequality in America based on conflict theory. So first, an introduction. The problem of inequality. Wealth inequality in America, a crisis of race and gender. So for the income inequality, the unequal distributions of earned wages in the U.S., the unequal distribution of accumulated assets, home savings, investments, and debt and wealth in the U.S. For the international crisis, income and wealth disparities are not not about rich versus poor. They are strictly patterned by race and gender. Systemic issues ensure that certain groups, particularly women of color, accumulate significantly less wealth over their lifetimes. This presentation uses conflict theory to explain how these inequalities are maintained and perpetuated by those with power rather than being mere outcomes of individual effort. This will be the data and examples of the inequality. For example, for every $1 typically earned by a white man, the median earnings for full-time year-round workers are about 20% less for white women, 33% less for black women, 42% less for Latina women, and white households usually make about 200,000 or more, Hispanic 62,000 more, and black households about 44,000. Conflict theory and its role. What is conflict theory? Rooted in the work of Karl Marx, conflict theory posits that society is a continuous competition for sacred resources and power. The key argument will be that it's not beneficial or inevitable, but is dysfunctional and harmful to society. How conflict theory explains wealth inequality. The rich and powerful use their control over societal structures to maintain a fixed system that benefits them. Perpetuation inequality. Systems like capitalism, when unregulated, allow the light of solidify their advantage through policies like corporate tax breaks or low wages, actively limiting the upward mobility of lower classes. It applies to race and gender because racial and gender discrimination are tools used by the dominant group to divide the working class and maintain a cheap labor pool, ensuring that women and minorities remain marginalized and disproportionately stuck in low-wages sectors, with limited means for wealth accumulations. The structural control sustains the racial and gender wealth gaps. Some examples of solutions to inequality. It would be strengthening labor rights, pass legislation like the Paycheck Fairness Act to strengthen equal pay protections and prevent salary history inquiries. Raising the floor, substantially raise the federal minimum wage and eliminate the sub-minimum wage for tip workers who are disproportionately women and people of color. Some workplace support, institute national guaranteed paid family and medical leave, and invest in universal, affordable child care to combat the motherhood penalty that forces women out of the workforce. Progressive taxation. Implement heavy progressive taxes on extreme wealth and capital gains to redistribute concentration at the top. Asset building programs. Implement baby bonds, government fund trusts for children with higher amounts for low-income families to reduce the median racial wealth gap over a generation. These will be my works cited pages. I used about 5 works cited pages in which I got my information, my cited information of examples based on the salaries and the incomes for each household depending on the gender or depending on the race. Thank you.